So there's a couple of different ways to write equations. The way we're going to talk about today is taking an equation that's written in standard form and changing it to slope-intercept form. So when we look at standard form, we have some number a times x plus some number b times y equals some number c. So our goal is to get it into slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept form is basically when we have y equals. We need y equals what we call a little m times x plus b. And in class we're going to talk about what this little m stands for, which is slope, and this b, which stands for y-intercept. But today we're just going to practice switching from standard form to this slope-intercept form right here. So there's a few different steps that we can take. And the steps work almost every single time. So we have an example equation over here, 2x plus 3y equals 15. And we want to get this into y equals. So our first step is to move your ax term to the other side by adding or subtracting. Because I know I want y by itself, the first term we always have to move is the 2x. And since the 2x is being added or subtracted to the y, to get rid of it we have to add or subtract. So to get rid of the 2x, I would subtract, since it's positive, 2x from both sides of my equation. So when I subtract from the left side, I know that 2x minus 2x is 0 x's, so those cancel out. And I'm left with 3y equals, well, on the right side I have 15 minus 2x. And I know I can't actually subtract those, so we just write down negative 2x plus 15. Now it's a positive 15 plus 15 because the 15 was positive up here. And it's a negative 2x because I subtracted 2x. So I'm really close to having y by itself, but I have to figure out some way to get rid of the 3. So the second step is to divide everything, and it has to be everything, by b. In this case, my b value is 3. So I had this 3y equals negative 2x plus 15. So to solve for y, I'm going to divide everything by 3. So in the first, on the left-hand side, I know that 3 divided by 3 is 1, so that just leaves me with y. Negative 2 divided by 3 is a fraction that doesn't reduce, so I'm going to leave it as negative 2/3 x. And the last thing over here is plus 15 over 3, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. We need to make sure that we remember to always reduce our fractions. So we've taken 2x plus 3y equals 15 and turned it into y equals negative 2/3 x plus 5. So now I want you to pause the video and try these other two on your own. Alright, so by now you should have an answer, and I'm going to go through this one with you. So the first thing I would need to do is add 5x to both sides. So once I do that, I have negative 7y equals 15x plus, 5x plus 14. My next step would be to divide by negative 7. So when I simplify everything, I have y equals negative 5 over 7x minus 2. If you put plus a negative 2, that would have been right, but we know that we can simplify that to be just minus 2. All right, let's look at this last one. The first thing you should have done was subtracted 10x from both sides. So once you do that, you have negative y, don't forget to bring down the negative, equals negative 10x plus 11. So then the last step would be to divide by negative 1. Remember, if there's no number right in front of y, that it's always a 1. So we need to divide everything by negative 1. So then I have y equals, well, negative 10 divided by negative 1 is positive 10x, and then minus 11.